They're getting the saw warming up. Let's get these trees cut. I'm gonna do a quick walk. Make sure I'm not gonna damage any of the kids' play area here. So in case the other video I took did not come out, we're basically just taking care of some root rot trees here next to a private school. So the kids do come down in the forest here and they play. And there's a lot of trees that have been tipping over. You can see there's one here that's uprooted. These are all fir trees. There's another one down here that uprooted. And we're having issues with them getting infected. You can see the mushrooms here on the tree. Make sure you're inspecting your trees before you go up them or you're following them, guys. Like this tree here, because there's mushrooms in it, I don't expect this tree to want to hold on very well. We'll see what it looks like when I bore in, see if there's clean sawdust or not. But I'm not going to try and force this tree against its lean. That's not a good idea. We're trying to spin it out away from some sort of structure because the wood in here is compromised. We don't know what the hinge wood looks like. So we could be trying to hold wood on one side that's got opposite the lean, and then it just fails, completely breaks out, and goes in the way we don't want to. So instead of trying to force any of these trees against their lean, best thing to do is look up at it from the back sides, determine where the weight is. It's already kind of over here. I want it over here, so I am going to try and spin it a little bit out into the woods more instead of getting hung up in these other firs. But that's the extent of what I would do. I don't want to be trying to spin it 70, 80 degrees over here because more than likely it won't work. So we got a couple other ones here that are dead, just some smaller ones to take care of. Be really careful, you guys, when you're falling these dead trees like this, that you don't hammer on these real hard with your axe with wedges. When you hit these trees, you look up, you'll see the top going like this. A little bit of movement down here is a significant amount of movement up in the top of the tree. So you could be down here pounding your wedges, doubling up, and you're not even paying attention that that top is moving 5 or 6 feet up there, and it breaks out. You're not hearing it because your saw's running. Maybe you're in the back cut. That top breaks out 70, 80 feet up in the air and comes crashing down on top of you. You're not going to make it. So every time you hammer wedges into one of these, you better be looking up to make sure you're not shaking a big limb loose or the whole top itself breaking out, okay? So just be more cautious when you're wedging. We're gonna be using the 261 today to get this done. Don't need a monster saw. It's, the trees aren't very big, so get it fueled up and we'll get going. This one to the left, it wants to be over here, but I think there's too much risk of damaging that, so I'm going to try and put in a cut face over here and try and hold some wood on this left side of the tree. Let's take a look at the internal. Yeah, see that? See that dark brown? That's all rock. It punched in really quick too, so I know there's quite a bit of decay in there. Let's try to get it to spin out though. other dead one, I'm just gonna cut it off and let it go right in this hole. We'll see if it'll hold on there. Always be looking up, you guys. Switch your hands if you have to. Use your left hand as your trigger. Good job. It's already starting to move. Okay, here he goes. Now get out of here. See that top? Before that tree even hit the ground, the top broke out of it and came down. That can happen right here on the stump. The tree starts to move, the top breaks out, and you're still right here by the stump. They land right on you. So think about this, you guys. Look at all this decay in here. If you're climbing up these trees and you're moving them around because you're lanyarding up, you could break these things off. So just be cautious of that. Gauge whether you can spin a tree out. Look at the holding wood. Give her a push. Let me show you something. You guys can see. Look at, I'm pushing this. This isn't a very tall tree, but look at how much movement I'm still getting at the top. Right? So when you're wedging a tall tree 100 plus feet, there's a lot of movement up there in the top. So make sure it's a sound tree and it's not decayed, because it can break out and you won't even hear it. I'm going to take a look and see if we can identify any more dead ones. Let's look at this one here. There's holes going into it, so probably some sort of insect issue, and the bark's peeling away pretty easily. So, okay, let's take a look. See this side? Sap running out of it. Again, insects. So at some point, this tree may need to go. I wouldn't say quite yet, but it's getting there. Okay, I'm gonna go probably get back over to that larger one and get it cut down if I don't find much else in here. Okay, this tree here is leaned back in here. I could probably try and put it in this hole here, but it might get caught up in the other firs and that'd be kind of a mess. I don't want it to land on here. So what we're gonna do is a back cut first, then we'll go ahead and put a wedge in it and try and get it to go straight out this way. Use your gunning sights. Look where you want it to go. That's it. Cut off all this moss. Back leaned already by, I don't know, 3-4 feet. to go into this lay. Look up once in a while, make sure you're checking it. So I can already see the top moving. Look at that. Okay, let's look at it now. It's already in the lay. I didn't even put a face cut in that. All I did was put a back cut about 3/4 of the way through, pounded a wedge in, and now it's not even setting back anymore. It's all the way over here. So at this point, you can't mess up. It's going that way, even if you cut your whole hinge out. Going without even getting a full face in. You don't always have to immediately, when you do a back cut first, get that face in. Get your wedges set. Tilt that tree into the lay, then get your face in. The only time you have to be careful of doing that is if you're trying to make a very tight shot. It has to be, say, within a foot or a few feet in the lay. You don't want to put so much pressure in the back cut with the wedges that you can't get your face in fully, because then it could shift off course when it goes down. But for something like this, I just needed it in this open area. So it's fine if it goes without the face fully being in it. Pretty good sized trees in here. One of these days I might have to come in here and cut these if we rot out. I'm gonna head over here to a alder, it looks like. It's got nothing in it right here. So let's kind of look at the lean. Yeah, this is junk. So it's heavily leaned out here. There's a chance it could get caught up in these firs here. So what we're probably gonna do, we're gonna shift it off course over here to the right. I'm gonna try to, we'll see if it'll hold on. Yeah, we're gonna have to try and shift it off to the right. To the here would be best, over here to the left, but I just don't think I can get that. Always look at your limbs up there. If you get them tied into with each other, there's a chance it gets limb tied, and then you have to section it down in pieces, stump jump it, which is more dangerous. So I'm trying to come up with a game plan here. Again, also think about this. This thing's dead. The top of it could hit this fir tree and break, and then it would come back this way. So think about where you're gonna retreat to. I'm gonna try and go back into this clearing here, but that top, if it say it breaks out a 30-foot section, I gotta make it out here 20, 30 feet before I can clear this top. So think about that as well. Okay, we're gonna put a cut in. We're gonna try and spin it right in here into this brush. We'll see if it'll cooperate or not. So far, but alders don't. So I'm gunning it right out here into this clearing. to estimate where a tree's gonna land. Step away from it, look up 45 degrees. That's where your top's gonna be, assuming where you're putting your cut in is level with where your body is. Okay, if the tree's further down, it'll land different. If it's on higher ground, it's gonna, again, that's gonna affect where that top's gonna be. Against their leans. It's not going to work. You can pull the hinge out just with the amount of pressure from the wedges. So go with whatever the lean is and try and spin it out just slightly, one way or the other. Be looking up. So I can see movement now on the top. I'm going to really pay attention now as I'm cutting where I want to take wood out to try and guide it in. If it's going where I want it, I'm going to leave it alone. Grab some fuel. We just have one more bigger tree to cut in the back. It's actually the biggest one. And that's it. So as you can see, guys, cutting dead trees like this, you can't depend on that holding wood to do what you want. So it's a very risky situation if you have structures around, vehicles, that sort of thing. You really don't want to trust that tree, the integrity of that tree, to go where you want it to go. You need to just put lines in them, maybe use a bucket truck, cut them down that way. A situation like this, I have lots of room to put them in, so I'm not worried about it, but I definitely wouldn't be cutting these had there been a house right there where the lean was on that tree. It's not worth it. Let's get down to this big tree and cut it down. Well, guys, this thing's probably almost 2 feet at the stump. Pretty big tree for a 261. Let's take a look at what we're gonna do with it. It wants to go out here. And as much as it'd be nice to pound it against this lean, that's not gonna happen with it being unpredictable. So it'd be ideal to put it back here in the woods. Let me take a look here. It's possible to get it instead of putting it through the forest here where the kids are playing. Well, let's bore cut it and take a look. Let's see how the holding wood is in there. We might be able to put some wedges in here. It's going to take a little bit of work, but I could probably get it back over in here. Well, I'm gonna think about it here for a second and figure out a game plan for this thing. This is part of tree falling, you guys. You gotta sit there and think about how you're gonna do something. Come up with a game plan. Don't just start cutting, because you can't go back. I think if we get enough wedges in it, we can get this tree over in here, which would be better, to the left, out in here. So I'm gonna go grab some wedges from the truck and we'll get to work. I'm actually just gonna grab one of my bigger saws. It'll be easier. Don't keep cutting. If something's link tied and your hinge is formed and it's not going, don't keep cutting. You'll cut that whole hinge off and then you're in a lot of trouble. Try and figure out why it's not going. So we're grabbing a bunch of wedges in my 562 just to make a video for you guys to see that you can overcome some back leans. We're gonna try to pound that tree against that lean, even though it's a pretty heavy tree and a decent amount of back lean. Let's go see if we can get it done. So here's the tree. You can see it's leaned out pretty good out here. If it fails while we're wedging it, it's not a big deal. It's not gonna damage anything. Just be more difficult to clean up. But good experiment. Show you guys that you can still overcome these heavy trees with just some wedges. Here's vertical. It's leaned out over here pretty heavy. So we're gonna try and put it back here. Back cut first. Don't put a face cut in this thing first. You're gonna end up having it sit back on you. Let's get all this bark off. gonna set these wedges in the back cut. It's gonna be a fight to get it over. Okay, those are set. Now the tree's not gonna go back on us. We'll go ahead and start working our way around the face. Okay, now we got the face in, we're just gonna start pounding wedges. Good sign. Wedges are starting to sink. It means we're starting to lift the tree. It's slow going, but we'll get it. We're lifting the tree. These singles are now coming out, so we can start doubling them. guys, that's all it was pounding on at the very end. This little strip here, that's all it was holding that tree on. You can see the top just broke out. It just turned into dust down there, but anyway, it worked out. That was a lot of wedging to get this thing over. I've probably been wedging this thing for about 15 minutes to get it to where it was at. So it's a lot of work, but it just shows you guys can overcome back lanes, pretty significant ones. This tree wasn't even in good shape and it still came over. So just think about that on your really healthy fir trees, what you can get away with wedging. All right, guys, thanks for watching. God bless. I'll see you on the next one.
Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps, and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, Give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you, but go ye rather to them that sell, and buy for yourselves. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Afterward came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, Verily I say unto you, I know you not. Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh.